Welcome, IT changemakers, to the Dex Show with Tim Flower and Tom McGraw. Let's get into it.
Hello, changemakers. Welcome back to the Dex Show. Welcome back to Reality Bytes. Tim and I are here. We're just back from, in our respective homes, from New York, where we have the honor and privilege of presenting the final leg of the Experience Everywhere tour. Where are you, Tim? Are you home already?
I'm back in North Carolina, Tom. Yeah, we're I don't know how many miles separate us, but it was really cool to be on the stage with you and actually do some cool stuff in person. I had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we felt pretty good about it, but we have a neutral bystander, right? We have an objective bystander who can report to listeners who weren't there whether we were any good or not. Okay, Catherine, step up. You got to tell the truth. Our producer, Catherine Shea, she was there. She can give the honest truth. How was it? How did we do? Come on.
I don't know if I'm very objective, but I think that you guys did great.
Thank you. That sounds objective to me. It sounds objective to me. That's got a ring of accuracy and truth to it, if you ask me. But we are back here, and for another Reality Bites, we're joined by Dina. Hi, Dina. How's it going?
Hello. All is good.
We met your boss, Mohammed, right?
Yeah. Yes, true.
He seems like a nice guy.
He's a great guy.
Excellent. That was nice to meet him. But you didn't make it to any of the experiences, is that right, Dina? Worldwide?
No. No, unfortunately. I was on PTO. So I was roaming Spain to get some sunshine in.
Well, next time you're booking your holiday, try not to do the most important 2 to 3 weeks of the Dex year, okay? Just a suggestion.
We'll do.
Just a suggestion, Dina. And we're joined as well from the tech side by Oriana. How's it going, Oriana? No experiences for you. I didn't see you in New York, did I? I'm not imagining this.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. You were on a holiday as well? What's your excuse? Come on.
No, actually, I was working. I'm doing a lot of calls right now to hear back from people about their experiences so far. We want to know how things are going, where we can continue improving. So it's very busy, and it's really great to hear from people who are using Infinity already about how it's going for them.
Awesome. Is the feedback very positive so far?
Definitely some things that are really exciting that people feel really good about, and there's still some room to improve, which is why I have a job. We always want to continue improving. We have lots of great feedback directly from our customers on what it is they're looking for. So I'm really excited to be working on those solutions.
Yeah, we'll include some links in the show description so people can check Infinity out. It's pretty impressive. Thanks for that, Oriana. And speaking of people who just kept the company running while everybody else was gallivanting off on Experience, we've got Sam Holzman here from the content side. How's it going, Sam?
Very good. Glad to have you and Tim back from all your globe-trotting adventures.
Indeed. I heard you were near coming to New York. You were like almost going to, like, on your own dime, you were just going to come and join us almost.
Yeah. We almost got on a train, but decided someone had to hold down the fort while you guys were soaking in all the praise over there.
Out partying.
Does he know? Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Does he? I don't know, Catherine. Does he know how close he was to being invited that morning?
I think once our other colleague said she couldn't go, it was game over. He wasn't coming solo.
Yeah. We were almost going to tell you to just expense it, Sam. We just wanted you to come down.
Oh boy,
it's almost worse hearing that after the fact, isn't it?
I know. I got cold feet about it. We were at breakfast, and she's like, "I'm gonna tell him." And I was like,
Sam, we printed a badge for you, but too bad you couldn't show up and use it.
I was like, I might get fired, and I lost my bottle. And last but not least, we've got Sean Malvey. Sean in Spain, so it was less of a possibility, right, Sean? So but it would have. We haven't seen you at an Experience since 2019, so maybe next year.
Yes, I hope so. Apologies, I couldn't make it this year. Still busy changing diapers and things like that. But yeah, maybe next year. We'll see.
And how's little Luna doing?
Good. Very good.
Excellent. So, okay, Sean, I think you've got a superb story to kick us off with. So you're last but not least in the roll call of introductions, and you can take it from here, man. Let us know what you got.
All right, thanks. So I was reading in CIO.com the other day, and I came across an article that I think will play nice with this group, and you'll have plenty of things to talk about. It was actually about the Texas Rangers Baseball Club. They have like a relatively new state-of-the-art stadium, And what they've done is basically overhauled their data infrastructure and made it more digitally friendly in a way that has helped both management team and the fan experience. So, in the past, when you pay through a cash transaction or when you go to park your car, things were not being tracked digitally. And I won't go into every single detail, but they've basically in every single point in that experience, when you go into the ballpark to watch a game, it's being tracked in a way such that if it's not live, it's almost a real-time update of what's happening. So that has improved just the experience for a lot of fans that go to the ballpark. And I just thought, how would you kind of take this example, maybe there are other examples too you can think of, but this particular example, and apply that to the modern workplace today?
I love this one, Sean, and we'll go. I think straight to Tim first of all to kick us off in a second, because I know you had a lot to say in it. But like, one thing that really struck me about your example is, people talk about the experience economy, and this is a definitive example of that kind of experience economy phenomenon, right? Because you've got, why do you go to a sports game other than for an experience? So how that kind of segues with the digital side of it is, I think, really, really interesting, right, Tim?
Yeah, and I love a good analogy, and this one would be great if it was just an analogy, but it's actually real. You think about IT for decades has called their employees that they work with users, and that word immediately puts the person in the context of the technology. You're not an employee doing a job, you're a user of the technology that I give you. So still the employee is it's not employee centric, it's technology centric, just by using that one word, user. And even employees, calling them employees puts them all in the same bucket. The Rangers look at everybody in this stadium with a unique and different persona and a unique and different experience and interaction. So think about it, driving into the gate, they know where you parked, they know what gate you went into, and now your experience in the stadium. How many hot dogs per minute are being sold? Where is there a food shortage versus excess? Where's there a long line? They even know
that's what piqued
seats
my
are
interest, I must say quickly, Tim, that the hot dog thing. If there's a hot
Yeah.
dog shortage, that's a catastrophe. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a cool way to look at the experience, because I can now manage that experience for everybody based on their uniqueness. And it's not even just the people in the stadium. You've got fans of the home team, fans of the away team, people who just like baseball. You have people at concession. You have people selling souvenirs. You got security, you got ticket agents, you got the front office. Everyone's interacting with each other, and they know about those interactions and the experience that's happening in real time. And if you look at now, take that experience in that stadium and apply it to a large enterprise. It's the same paradigm. Everyone's interacting with HR and marketing and sales and external customers in different ways, and knowing about what that experience and interaction is in real time and being able to adjust on the fly is fascinating, because now the employees and the job that they do and how they interact with other people is front and center versus just being users of technology.
Excellent points, Tim. And let's move the subject over to Dina now. What do you reckon, Dina?
I agree with the fact that numbers and statistics are going to be improving the experience, like Tim just mentioned, not on that specific aspect only, but all through organizations. Once we understand better the behavior of our colleagues, the users, we are able to better provide the services that needs to be in place and improve the experiences they're having. Because now with all of the different kinds of technologies, it's not just us being users of technology, but we need to be facilitating how the output and how we are very effective doing our jobs and the tasks that we need to do in a quick manner, in an easy manner, in a very efficient manner as well.
Excellent. And I've got a feeling it's another plum topic for Oriana to discuss, right?
I think it's so interesting, definitely thinking about the experience of being in a stadium where there's just so much going on, and there's also a lot of repetition, right? You have, like you said, the hot dog stands on the opposite sides of the stadium, and like sometimes it is worth it to walk 30 minutes to the other side to get the hot dog rather than wait in this line. But how do you even know that, and how do you communicate that? So I think really thinking about not just what is the data you can extract, but how do you use it to create that optimal experience? How do you let people know where to go to get the hot dog? And the other thing that came to mind as a consumer of hot dogs is also like the trade-off of convenience versus privacy, right? Because on the one hand, yeah, I want to wait in a shorter line at concessions. On the other hand, whoa, that's a lot of tracking. And I think in the workplace,
Right.
there's a lot more sort of wariness around that. And so one of the things that I love about how we use our data is that we're really thoughtful about what information is surfaced where and who has access to that, and how do we give people
Mhm.
always improving fine control over that to make sure that we are protecting the privacy of the end user. Because I think, especially in the workplace setting, that's going to be really important because people are much more reluctant to trade privacy for convenience when it's not just their convenience, but also the convenience of their employer, right? So I think building trust is super, super important for all of that.
It struck me too, Ariana. It gives me a great experience when I'm in the stadium, but let's not fool ourselves. It's for the benefit of the company or the stadium owners as well to become as efficient as they can. And by all means, don't tell my doctor or my life insurance company how many hot dogs I had, right? It's all about making sure that that
Yeah.
data is used for benefit and not for harm.
On the subject of hot dogs, right? Apropos the hot dog, I got a genuine question for all the Americans on the call about New York street hot dogs. I'll put it very simply: yay or nay? Is it okay to eat a New York street hot dog or not? Just yay or nay before we move on to the next topic. I just need a quick round robin. Tim, yay or nay?
It's a bucket list experience thing. Do it once, but then never again.
Got it. Sean?
Sorry, I think it really depends on like the time of day, you know.
Oh, really? Because they've been out.
Get them fresh. Get them fresh. Stale hot dogs, no good.
What is there a time I should be aware of? Like,
You know, 3 a.m, fair bets, but daylight.
Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe about where you are. I see. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
Sam, you're a yay. Come on, Sam.
Don't make assumptions.
Anytime.
But yes, I'm a yay, but
He's
don't make a habit of it.
An emphatic yay. Who have I missed out? Oriana, sorry, Oriana.
I would say, why hot dog when you can halal guy?
Okay, that's good. That's a good shout. Obviously, you can tell I've got quite crude taste. So I'm even asking this question, but Oriana. And we don't need Catherine to add her yay. No, go on. Is it Catherine? Go on, yay or nay?
I'm gonna go with no on this one.
Okay, if you say so.
There's so many other choices, right, Catherine? Why go with the street hot dog when you can go
I
into
don't trust the
nice
street
steak
hot
place?
dog.
I must have considered one about like 15 times in the course of the 3 days I was there. Should I?
And now you're regretting it, aren't you?
Yeah, I think the yays outweighed the nays, actually, funnily enough. Anyway, okay, next time. Okay, the strongest yay was, of course, from Sam, and he's got our next story for us. So is it hot dog related or?
It's not hot dog related, but I was the strongest. Yeah, you got to try everything once. But all right. So yeah, that was a great story. That was a tough one to follow. No baseball analogy here, but I still think it does have some parallels with Sean's story, I hope. And this story kind of stems from a statistic that I stumbled upon in a recent Salesforce study, which the statistic was 54% of workers believe that technology will advance faster than the skills of the workforce. So obviously a bit of a ominous statistic there, but it kind of got me thinking on the topic of digital dexterity, which is something we've been writing about and thinking about a lot over the past year. And if you're not familiar with the term, digital dexterity basically refers to a person's ability to adapt to new technology. And it's really a huge issue that companies are facing right now, and will continue to over the next few years. There's not, so to speak, an even playing field when it comes to deploying new technology and having their employees understand it, adopt it, and use it in the way that it's supposed to be used. You know, you're naturally going to have a different level of digital dexterity, both across departments and also demographics. You know, someone from a younger generation who has grown up in the age of digital technology and has had an iPhone since they were 10 years old, is going to have a different technology experience than an older employee who spent 30 years in the business before any of this technology even existed. So it raises the question for IT, and I think it's an important one moving forward for all companies, is how do you gauge digital dexterity? And also, more importantly, how do you provide employees with the right level of help that they need to keep up with the pace of the workplace? And what if those employees who might be showing, a lower level of digital dexterity, what if they're resistant to learning the new technology at all? Like, what is IT's responsibility, and how do they really kind of level the playing field for employees as they're deploying all this new technology?
So I'll jump in because I've got, I'm as much as I hate to admit it, I'm on the older side of the scale. So, but I've been around technology since forever. So I adopt it easily. But in enterprise IT, we were always in this conundrum of, we've got a new application to roll out, a new version of Office, or we're going to move from one email system to another, and we've got to educate the people on how to use it. Technology wasn't easy to use. We set up a training center so that the help desk didn't have to take how-to calls. But it was always a problem of how early do you train them, and will they forget it by the time we roll it out, or does the training happen after we roll it out and now it's a problem? I think you mentioned the iPhone. Steve Jobs changed everything for us. Technology should be easy enough that the adoption of it is natural. And I'm sure Ariana's probably got some input here too, because I shouldn't have a huge learning curve to use technology that should be making my life and my job easier. And I would actually go back to the baseball stadium analogy. Why did it take you so long to get from your car to your seat? Why did it take you so long to get from your seat and actually get your hot dog and then your soda? If you know what those experiences are and you see that happening, you can engage with that person, find out what their struggles are and fix it, versus having to wait for them to say, hey, I can't pick this up as quickly as I should be. So I think the two are connected in a kind of a cool way, but it really is about the technology that we develop and how we deploy it and how we engage with our employees is all connected.
I think that question of how do we engage people is so key, right? Because often when people talk about things like adoption, one of the big questions that comes to my mind is it a technology issue or is it a process issue, right? Because processes are a form of technology. And going to the iPhone analogy, iPhones are really easy to use if you're used to iPhones. I'm actually an Android user, and when somebody hands me an iPhone, and this happened recently, my friend was driving and I was trying to do something with the map on the iPhone, and I was stumped, and I was trying to do it really quickly because, again, we were driving and I was trying to do it for the driver. And I had to have somebody tell me what to look for because it's just not something I'm used to. So often when you think about things being intuitive and easy, it really is just a matter of what we're used to and how we learn. So I think that's half of the equation, right? Is do we have good change management processes that are really human centric? So going back to what you're saying earlier about treating our users as people rather than as this homogenous group that just needs to have technology foisted on them, we really need to meet people where they're at. And I think the flip side of that too is, and you see this a lot with discussions of the skills gap. A lot of people have pointed out the skills gap is often a recruitment gap, right? We're hampered by our own ideas of who a skilled technology user is. So I have the great privilege of talking to a couple of women who were programmers back in the 50s when the majority of women were programmers. So they're literally grandmothers whose knowledge of technology is greater than I will probably ever achieve in my life, right? So when people talk about this example of, is it simple enough to explain to your grandmother? I like to ask, well, which grandmother are we talking about, right? If we rely on stereotypes like age, we'll often miss things like the fact that digital natives never had to learn things like folder structures. So people's experiences are actually really, really varied and not as simple as things like age or even exposure to technology, right? It's the type of technology, it's the type of training. All of those things matter a lot and can make these processes easier.
Agree. to all the points Tim and Oriana mentioned, specifically if we're looking at education or enablement as a customized experience. It's not a one size fits all, one classroom that needs to have all of the same information for everybody. We take in the information we're being presented differently according to our previous experiences and according to our current experiences as well. A 2-minute video might be enough for somebody who have never used an iPhone before, but is in the tech industry to get to know things. And a 30 seconds video might be enough for somebody else. But somebody who have never used technology, I'm not sure how at this age and time, but if it has happened before, they might need a little bit more education. Again, depending on what is going to be the use of this technology. What do you need to achieve at the end of the day? What's your result? How do you want to get from point A to point B? So all of those kind of information points need to be customized as per the receiver of that information, so they can actually utilize the technology in a seamless adoption way.
Brilliant stuff, guys. Anyway, anything anyone wants to add to that specific topic before we wrap up?
I'm just hungry. I gotta go get a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of hot dog chat. Well, listen, a lot of experience chat on the show today, of course, and on the last few shows. Actually, we'll shut up about it soon. It's nearly. It's over now. The tour is over, and we'll quieten down. We promise momentarily. But if you were able to come to any of the shows around the world, we loved seeing you. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. If you weren't and you'd like to have been there, check the show notes, because a lot of the fantastic presentations and discussions are now on dedicated sites for the different geographic locations. So check the show notes and you can find them right there. As for everything else, thank you so much for Oriana, to Dina, to Sean, to Sam, to Tim, to Catherine. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Goodbye.
Brilliant.
To make sure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the podcast deserves. If you'd like to learn more about how Nexthink can help you improve your digital employee experience, head over to nexthink.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.